So 1/3 x squared plus 5x plus blank is equal to 3 plus blank. Factor out the 1/3, and that's going to give us 1/3, and that's going to give us x squared. 5 over 1, that gives us what, 15? Somebody help me out.
Yep.
15x plus blank is equal to 3 plus 1/3 times blank. Half of 15 is 15 halves. 15 halves squared is going to be 225 over 4. Somebody help me out.
Yep.
And that'll give us 225 over 4. And that's going to give us shortcut number 1, which gives us 1/3 x plus 15 halves quantity squared is equal to, I'm just going to go ahead and write 225 over 12 here. And that's going to give us 36 over 12 here. And that's going to give us 1/3 times x plus 15 over 12, or 2, sorry, squared equals 261 over 12. Somebody help me out. 361 over 12. What is it? 261 over 12. And at that point, you can find your vertex. And I think we've left off right there. So what I want y'all to do is finish it up and find the vertex and the x-intercepts. I don't think we went that far, did we? Or we might have. I don't think. Yeah, I was going to watch the Georgia game, and that turned out to be Georgia versus Cupcake High School, so I didn't even. I think I'm turned to finally. Huh?
Clemson?
What about them?
Did you watch it?
No. I mean, they played Burns.
It's enjoyable.
Why would I watch Clemson play somebody they could beat, with their third string?
You have to see them do it. You have to believe
Oh, is that it? No, I turned Georgia because they were beating the crap out of, who was it?
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they were beating the crap 43-2 out of Vanderbilt. So I sure don't want to watch Clemson do the same thing to the stiff whipping child of the All Children's Conference.
Hey, Georgia plays LSU this coming week, don't they?
Who?
Georgia.
Don't they play the LSU?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to be a game.
You don't?
After what I saw against Texas A&M, or not Texas A&M, Florida.
Is Florida good or is LSU bad?
Florida is back. Florida.
How many points?
Florida pushed their defensive line all around the field. And LSU is supposed to have a pretty good defense, but
yeah,
Florida just manhandled their defensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see if Georgia can wear them down. It's going to be interesting.
Kelly Bryant. They say Kelly Bryant could be going over there to Florida or like Arkansas next year.
Well, I hope he don't get demoted. He'll end up going somewhere else.
Arkansas sucks.
Yeah, but didn't Mississippi State beat Auburn?
Auburn, yeah.
That was
But
out
they
of
said
left. That
they
was
were
out
saying
of left
Auburn's
field.
offense. Saying
So
Auburn's offense just wasn't the same this year.
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. Like I said, now that Florida's in the mix, I don't know what's going to happen in the SEC. I don't think they're going to beat Georgia or.
Oh, maybe that or no.
Alabama.
I know the Georgia-Florida game's coming up in 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah. Who'd Alabama play?
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
What was it? 72-8?
65-30.
Yeah, I swear. Why don't they just let Alabama sit at home? I mean, good God.
Nick Saban was mad because
That's pitiful. All
Nick
right,
Saban was
so
bad.
what is our vertex? Our vertex, I'm going to write it up here. Vertex is negative 15 halves and negative 261 over 12. I'm going to write it in intercept form. f of x or y is equal to 1/3 times x plus 15 halves quantity squared minus 261 over 12. And like I said, you need to put that and highlight it because sometimes they ask for that. And of course, the y-intercept is what? 0, -3. And then let's solve it. So when you divide by 1/3, you multiply by 3 over 1, right? So that turns that into 261 over 4. Somebody help me out. So x plus 15 halves quantity squared is equal to 261 over 4. Y'all check my math there. Now, I believe, and I may be wrong, 14 is 196, 15 is 225. So 16 would be what? 256? Somebody help me out.
Yep. Yeah,
So that's probably, the square root of 261 is what? 16.2? Somebody check that.
Yes.
X plus 15 halves is equal to positive or negative. Somebody check me. I'll tell you it's 16.2 over 2.
Yeah, that's 16.2.
Okay? And then x is equal to positive or negative 16.2 minus 15 over 2. And what is 16.2 minus 15? That's $1.20. $1.20 divided by 2 is 60 cents. And then negative, good gracious, negative what? 31.2. And that's going to be what? 15.5, 15.6. Somebody check my math there.
Yes, sir.
Negative 15.6. All right, sketch it out. And when you sketch it out, you should see everything line up. Zero, -3. -7.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 7.5 is right in there. And -12 be 144. Heck, I don't know. 13, 14, 15. 15 would be 120. Somebody tell me how many times 216 will go in, 12 will go into 216. Be one time. Be around 18, 17.
18.
18.
What?
18.
18 point what?
It's 18 straight up.
Just right,
18.
okay, 18, that's good. So 18 is way the heck down here. And 0.6, 1.6 would be right here. And -15.6 would be way the heck over here. Why is it so wide? Why is it wide, class? Because of the 1/3, Hubert. You're right, class.
1/3.
What is the domain? No, is not right. What is the domain?
Negative.
All real numbers, because it's not a fraction or a radical. And if it's not a fraction or radical, usually without direction or from the instructor or the directions, it's going to be all real numbers. What's the range?
-18 to infinity.
-18 to infinity. Good. Somebody paid attention. What's decreasing? -infinity to 15 halves. What's increasing? Well, we'll take off from 15 halves and go to positive infinity. Good, class. Okay, who's got questions? My 110 class is coming around. They're starting to ask questions now. I guess they're thinking it's better to talk than it is to fail the class. So maybe that's incentive. I don't know. Who's got questions? My dad says those are young people. young people don't communicate. Anybody got a question? All right. Now let's move to, 7, 8? Let's move to a 7 and an 8. So here we go. Let's go with -2 x squared minus 1/3 x minus 4 is equal to 0. All right, work that one out. And I decided to have this test in class also. What's the first step? Move C. Good. One of my 110 students came up to me from one of the campuses that don't speak, and they had pre-advising Friday. And we have pre-advising. Make sure you see your advisor because you need to sign up for pre-advising. Anyway, I said, what do they talk about? Well, they talk about how they don't know the material. That they talk amongst each other about not knowing the material before class, and then when they go to class, she said they won't ask you a question. And she said it's because of their teachers before them. I never thought about this. But some of their teachers before them don't like you to ask questions. I've never heard of that. Have y'all ever heard of teachers that didn't like for you to ask questions? Yes? No? Maybe?
They're super arrogant.
Well, that's what I've heard, so I never thought about it like that. But they fuss about not knowing the material, but they won't ask questions. I want everybody to let that sink in. They don't know the material, but they won't ask questions. Not too bright. All right, now what?
Take -2.
Factor out the -2. Let me ask you a question. When you factor out something, what is that? Division or multiplication? Division. Good. I heard somebody mumble it. So we're going to factor out the -2, and that's going to give us positive x squared plus, well, we're dividing by 2. That's going to give us 1/6. Somebody check my math.
Yep.
Plus blank is equal to 4 plus -2 times blank. Now what? Okay, I'll let y'all cipher for a minute while y'all fill in what I just did. Even y'all awful quiet. What's wrong up there?
No alcohol.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Oh well. You know that happens. I drank Saturday at 4 o'clock. I drank a beer. I hadn't had a beer in a year. And it wasn't really a beer, it was a Michelob Ultra. So it was 3/4 of water and 1/4 of beer. But I felt led to drink a beer to cabin off. I felt that I had to do it. So
I like beer. Hey, I enjoy it.
I like beer. You know what he reminded me of? When he said that like 15 times,
What?
I was like, oh my God, that sounds like John Nash. I have respect for beer. I like beer. I'm like, shut the hell up. All you have to say, you just got to say it one time. I like
Yeah.
beer. I like beer. Do you like beer, Senator? Do you drink beer, Senator? I was like, shut up with the beer. But just make a note, guys. Make a note. Do not throw ice when you're in college.
Yeah.
So,
It's dangerous. Getting somebody die. That has to choke on.
Oh, and do not make fun of people when they throw up after drinking too much either, because that could be held against you.
Everybody should just stay home and not do anything.
You have a chaperone or a body cam, okay? If you decide to go to a party, you have to have a body cam, what you call them, like on policemen wear, or you have to have a chaperone.
Turns into one of those laughing.
I said that the other day, and I swear I had 2 students have no idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, how in the hell do you not have any idea what I'm talking about? It just blows my mind how people stick their head in the sand. What's 1/6 divided by 2? 1/12? And what's 1/12? I'll do it for you. 1 over 144.
Hey, I knew that.
A good job. Are you saying that you got that right?
I knew it.
Oh, you just didn't write it down.
I just, didn't run.
Okay, you suck. All right, so that gives us shortcut number 1. So negative 2 times x plus 1 over 12, quantity squared. And that's going to be equal to, oh gosh, we might as well quit. Because we got all this mess and I don't want to do it, so let's just erase it. So I'm going to put negative right here. I'm going to put a negative, let's see, that's going to be 1 over what, 72? Somebody check my math. And then I'm going to make 72 times, what's 72 times 4? Dang old 288, so that's going to be 288 over 72. Somebody check me.
That's right.
Of course it is. Now, that's going to give us negative 2 times x plus 1 over 12, quantity squared, is equal to, I got this for y'all, that's 287. 287 over 72. Now you can finish it. Now, I'm going to let y'all finish it. I did a little bit for you, but I'm going to let you finish it. And if you can't finish it, just put it down as being a disappointment.
let's see.
Or a failure. You can put yourself down as a failure in life. You can always change your major to underwater firefighting.
I'll do it.
Fight the fire.
Underwater.
Global studies. There you go. Global studies.
Pull Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Yeah, she wants to get, she thinks everybody should have free tuition to the electoral college.
Hey, man.
All right.
Free.
Some people just now getting that. She did. She said everybody should have free tuition toward the electoral college.
She deserves to be our president.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. She needs to just, she's one of those people, if she wants to be elected, she needs to just stay off the TV. Because she is not the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Old Ben Shapiro challenged her to a debate, and she's claimed he was harassing her.
And Ben Shapiro was going to give $100,000 or $10,000, and Candace Owens was going to give like $10,000 to their campaign. But she would not debate them.
That's harassment.
Yeah, said it was sexist. And might as well go ahead and throw racist in there too, even though it's Candace Owens. I have a feeling Candace Owens would probably whoop your butt. I have a feeling she would.
Almost anybody would.
And again, there's some people that have no clue what we're talking about.
Get informed. Get on the internet.
Read a book.
Read a book.
I had one person yesterday tried to debate me on the Kavanaugh hearing. and she didn't even know the story behind the woman.
It was like the thing. Oh, did you see the "Change My Mind" Crowder put up?
Mm-mm.
It was "Rape Culture's a Myth, Changed My Mind." He had it like
Look that one up.
he had it like he didn't know who Kavanaugh was, and this girl was yelling at him. She was like,
Yeah.
"Have you not heard about the Kavanaugh?" He was like, "Who's that?"
You know, I love that guy. He loves pissing people.
It's funny.
There was one that was like, they're only teaching.
Yeah, changed my mind.
And they argue with you.
Funny, man. Oh, what are we doing? Got 287.
We're supposed to be solving the dadgum equation.
Where's that?
I'm at negative 287.
What's the vertex?
Negative 112.
Negative 112, comma.
287/72.
Good job. And f of x or y, whatever you want to write it, is going to be negative 2 times x plus 112 quantity squared minus 287 over 72. Okay, and that's for your information. Our y-intercept is negative 4. And we have no x-intercepts. Why?
Negative.
Well, yeah, there's negative, but where is it? In the next step, Hubert, you divide by negative 2, and that makes the... Yeah, that's what you're supposed to say. So, x plus 12, or sorry, x plus 1 over 12 quantity squared is equal to, that's going to be what? You divide by 2, you multiply by 1/2, that's going to be negative 287 over 144.
Right.
Negative 287 over 144. So that's going to take the square root. X plus 1 over 12 is equal to negative square root of negative 1 times the square root of 287 over 144. And I did that on purpose just to show you how you're going to get I. And that's going to give you, well, let's go back to 256. If 16 is 256, what is 17?
I think.
Somebody multiply 17 times 17, you're going to get 529?
I used to know that. 289.
289, I'm sorry. 289. Well, I'll bet you $1 to a donut hole, you're going to get daggum 17.1. So if somebody take 287, take the square root of it, I'm sorry, be 13, or what did y'all say, 17? It'd be
16.9.
16.9.
16.9. Yep.
So that's going to be x is equal to 16.9 I minus 1 all over 12. And you could rewrite that as negative 1 plus 16.9. So you need to write that down because some of this standardized testing and some of this testing homework will want you to write negative 1 plus 16.9 I over 2. So you need to write both. I'm sorry, 12.
That's because the I you have to put it like, is that why? Make it
They
all-
like, for some reason, there's this thing in math where they want you to put the I last. It's not a big deal. The answer is still correct either way you write it. But just to be on the safe side, make sure you know what the directions are asking. And the directions will say, put in the form of A plus BI. And if the directions say that, you got to write it like that or it'll mark it wrong. And like I say, that's about a what, 7 or 8?
Yep.
Y'all ready for the 9 or a 10?
No.
Okay, well let's just keep it as 1. Let's lower the bar and keep it at a 1. And And that way, when you go to 130, you can all what? Fail.
Fail.
How about that? Y'all want to do that? No, let's don't. Let's raise the bar. Negative 1/3 x squared minus 2/3 x plus 1/5 is equal to 0. Just go ahead and quit. Throw your pencil down, make it pop on the table, on the notebook paper. Y'all can do that, can't you? Oh, that was pretty sorry. Gotta make it pop. I'll do the first part for you. I'm gonna move C for you.
Oh, generous.
You're welcome. I'll even add the blanks too. Negative 1/3 x squared minus 2/3 x plus blank is equal to negative 1/5 plus blank. There you go. Factor out the negative 1/3. And I don't know why y'all are using calculators. That's the whole point. You're not supposed to be using calculators. Why are y'all using calculators? Are y'all telling me y'all can't factor out at 1/3? Boy, y'all gonna be in trouble when that test comes along, because there's no calculators on the in-class test. So some of y'all gonna have to, I guess you just fail. Negative 1/3, factor that out. And that's going to give you what? Well, I'll do the first one for you. That'll give you x squared. And then when I divide by 1/3, I multiply by 3/1, which will give me a what? Positive 2x. Oh, man. Isn't that nice? You thought it was going to be difficult.
Glad all that worked out.
Huh?
I'm glad all that worked out too.
Yeah, it did. That's real nice. Don't need a calculator at all. Dang old cashier can't spell mom backwards. All right, 2 divided by 1 is what? 2. I'll do that for you. 2 squared is what?
4.
I never heard 4 with 2 syllables, but go ahead, that's fine. 4. That's going to give us what? Negative 1/3 times x plus 2, quantity squared, and quit. Negative 3/15 minus what? 5 times 4 is 20, right? 20/15.
Right.
Somebody check my math.
That's right.
So, you get negative 1/3 times x plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to negative 23/15. Vertex is what? Negative 2, comma, 23/15. F of x is equal to negative 1/3 times x plus 2, quantity squared, plus 23/15. My y-intercept is 1/5. Now solve it for the x-intercepts. Do we have x-intercepts? Yes, good job. Even though I barely heard it, but good job. We do have x-intercepts. Why? Because what? If you divide a negative by a negative, you get a positive. Good. So you're the one that paid attention. Okay. I'm really depressed about the movie situation.
What movie?
Yeah, exactly. What movies? There is none. They all suck.
Venom? Hey, the audience approval ratings for Venom went up. I haven't seen it though.
I was going to.
I
The
really
critics-
don't care about. Now I do like Tom Hardy. I love Tom Hardy as an actor. But
Tom Hardy.
I mean, in a very heterosexual way, I like Tom Hardy as an actor. But I don't care nothing about Venom. I don't care anything about that. I thought Venom was supposed to be a bad guy.
He is.
Oh, okay. So now they're doing the bad guys too now. Okay.
Yeah.
Now they're making movies about the bad guys. It's not the movie about the good guy with the bad guy in it. Now they're making movies about the bad guy. They're taking people for a ride. Okay. I'm sorry. I do like Tom Hardy though.
On Batman. Dark Knight Rises.
He's like gained like 60 pounds in one movie. You know the UFC fighting movie that he was in?
I've seen it cover on Netflix.
Where he fought his brother?
I've never seen it.
He like gained 60 pounds. And then he had to lose like 120 pounds to play some homeless veteran or something in another movie.
He's one of those method actors.
Oh my God. I don't see how you do that. I can't even lose 6 pounds, much less. Good gracious. I can't imagine. Well, I've lost 80 pounds, but I haven't lost 120.
Christian Bale.
That's amazing how they can do that.
Say all I do is drink.
Yeah. He said all he did was drink water and smoke cigarettes for like 6 months. I'm like, oh my God, I think I'd throw up. I can take the water, but I can't take those Marlboros. I can't take the Marlboro clubs. That's one thing I've never.
I don't know. Half these people come up with my race.
So, divide by 1/3, multiply by what? 3 over 1 will give us 23 over 5, right?
Yeah.
So x plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to 23 over 5.
Take the square root.
Now, take the square root, that gives us x plus 2 is equal to the square root of 25. I'm sorry, I'm just making up numbers now. It's the gummy worms, they're laced. 23 over the square root of 5, which will be x plus 2 is equal to the square root of 115, right? The square root of 115 over 5. So that's going to be x is equal to the square root of 115 plus 10 over 5. Or minus 10. Be minus 10, wouldn't it? Minus 10 over 5. And what's 144 be 121 is 11. So 100, 121, I'd say it's about half. So what is it, 10.5? Somebody take the square root of 115.
Hey, how'd you get 115? What'd you do?
Square root of 5 times square root of 23. 10.5 minus 10 over 5. You want me to go over it for you since you're communicating? You want me to go over it for you?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You don't want what in the radical? I mean, you don't want what in the denominator. You don't want a radical in the denominator, so you rationalize. And that will give you 5 in the denominator. And it'll give you the square root of 115 in the numerator.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's what communication does. All right, so somebody take the square root of 115. What do you get? Okay, 10.7. I was off a little bit. Y'all forgive me. So $10.70 minus 70 cents minus $10.70. What's 5 into 70 cents? Dang old 14 cents. Negative 20.7 or negative $20.70 be negative what? 10 or 5 will go into negative 24 times 4.1. Somebody check that for me. What's negative 20.7 divided by 5? 10.1 something. What is it? No, 4.1.
Yeah, 4.
4.1. What is it, 4.1?
Yes, sir.
All right, sketch it up. Do a sketch. Just making sure we didn't have any homework questions. Okay, so here we go. 0.14 be right in here. Negative 4.1. 1, 2, 3, 4. Be right in there. Negative 2 and 15 will go into 23. What? 1, 7, 15, 1.5. Somebody check that for me. Negative 2, 1.5. Something like that. A little bit lower. And then my 1/5 is our what is the domain? Have y'all started to see a pattern with the domain on all these quadratics?
Real number.
Good job. Real numbers. Yeah, all real numbers. Yes, all real numbers. What about the range? Negative infinity to what? 23/15. Increasing from negative infinity to negative 2. Increasing negative infinity to negative 2. Decreasing from negative 2 to what?
Yeah.
Positive infinity. Question, gripe, complaint. All right, let's look at some of the homework questions. Because that is going to be your test questions, except they're going to be in class instead of online.
Have you posted any of the homework questions? Or
I don't know. Let me look and see. I don't know if I posted them or not. Well, where is my, I'm thinking.
Go to fast. Jeez, boys. Their models.
What is this? 3.1, 3.2? What is it? Huh?
3.1.
3.1, 3.2? I'm just going to go to the chapter contents 3.1 study plan. Now, after we've gone through several of these questions, you should be able to knock out just about any. How many did we do? There should be about 10. How many of those did we do?
Please.
Count how many we did.
Okay,
8. Usually it's 8 to 10. And usually after doing those, this is going to be what? It's going to be a cakewalk. Okay? Of course, you could actually do shortcut number 1, but in this section, everything needs to be done by completing the square, because that's all I'm going to give you on the test is non-factorable problems. Okay? So just consider all of them unfactorable. Of course, if you want to, you can do the lazy route and then not be fluent with completing the square and fail the test. That's up to you. X squared plus 6x plus 64. So that's going to be x squared plus 16x plus blank is equal to negative 64 plus blank. Half of 16 is what?
8.
8 squared is?
64.
64. So that's going to give you x plus 8 quantity squared is equal to 0. So therefore your vertex is negative 8 and 0. Your y-intercept is 64. And your vertex, square root x plus 8 is equal to 0. Take the square root of both sides. And x is equal to negative 8. And, I'm sorry, that's not right. It'll be negative 8 be your answer. X is equal to negative 8. So, in this case, since we got the square root of 0, the square root of 0 means 1x what? Intercept, which is usually your what? I told you this the other day. It's usually your what? Vertex. So it's sitting on the x-axis. It's not crossing the x-axis. It's sitting on it. Usually when your vertex is your x-intercept, that means it is sitting on the x-axis. So negative 8. What's your y-intercept? 64. And you've got a graph that looks like that. Now, by hand, that's all I want to do. I want you to be able to tell me all of that, domain, range, increasing, decreasing. So you're going to have to, might want to bring some graph paper. It is a graphing test, so you might want to bring graph paper. Although there'll be some DA that won't bring any. Okay? So is that a test question? Probably not, because it's too easy. I'll give you one that's a little bit more challenging. Let's try another one.
Oh,
Say again?
We need all the questions to be like that.
Say again. What'd he say?
We need all the test questions to be like this.
Oh, okay. Lower the bar. I don't know why I would want to raise the bar. Maybe I'm just confused. Is that what it is?
You.
I know. Keep it with the status quo.
huge stuff. All your
There's no such thing as knowledge is power. Be stupid and be controlled. Okay, 2x squared plus 8x is equal to plus blank is equal to 5 plus blank. All right, do that. Now, y'all should be able to do this one. That one's not hard. This is a test question. I like the octopi more than I like the worms. Okay, I have a question. I see about 4 or 5 of y'all not doing anything. So my question is, did y'all invent this process, or do y'all just not want to work? Which one is it? That means I want you to get about a piece of notebook paper, and I want you to work for those 4 or 5 people that are just sitting there. I don't understand the concept of just sitting, but you don't need the computer either. For those that are playing on the computer, you don't need that. You don't need your calculator. You don't need your phone. All you need is a piece of paper and a pencil. Thank you. Coney, I did not mute you. Why are you muted? Don't do that anymore. So, what's the first step?
Factor the 2 out.
Factor the 2 out, yes. Factor the 2 out, that's going to give you 2 times x squared plus 4x plus blank is equal to 5 plus 4, 2 times blank. Half of 4 is, 2 squared is 4. 2 times x plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to, what's 5 plus 8? Dang old 13. So your vertex is -2, -13, -2, -13. What's your y-intercept? -5. Now find your x-intercepts. Oconee Hall. Got 2 people on the Oconee campus, 2 people. On a scale from 1 to 10 on being fluent in completing the square, what do you rate yourself? Start with the gray, I don't know, I don't have my roll in front of me. On the left side, what do you say?
At this point, maybe like a 3.
A 3. Okay, how about your other fellow across the table? How about you?
I don't know.
Do y'all see why I'm a little bit frustrated here?
Yes.
I got one person that says a 3, and the other person says I don't know, and they haven't asked a single question. Okay, Easley campus. Go around the room. Give me a number.
6.
6?
Yeah, probably 5 or 6. Maybe
5 or 6?
4.
4?
5.
5?
6.
6?
5.
5? Pendleton campus. Starting from the left side of the room. Your left.
5.
4. 4?
5.
Keep going.
5. 5. 6.
6. 4. 6. 5. 4. 5.
Anybody below a 5 is going to fail the test. Anderson. 5. 5. 5. 6. Just wanted to let you know. We keep playing this game and y'all being quiet, that's fine with me. If y'all want to fail this class, that's fine with me. But you better start asking questions, because anybody that's a 4 or 5, you better start asking some questions. I get paid either way. I hate to sound like that, but y'all are forcing me. I mean, when I'm watching y'all think that I just teach. I watch y'all. I'm watching your pencils stop. I'm watching you not write. Okay? I'm watching your facial expressions. And I get, I don't know, and I get 4s and 3s and 5s. But nobody asked a question. Take that into the workforce, and not only will you be taken advantage of, you probably won't make it very far, because communication is number 1 in the workforce. And that's all I'm going to say. So, we have a divided by 2, that's x plus 2 is equal to 13 halves, and take the square root. X plus 2 is equal to the square root of 13. I'd say it's going to be 3.5. Somebody check me. Well, doesn't matter because we got 2. Wait a minute. I didn't divide by 2. Yeah, I did. Okay, divide by 2. So that's going to be the square root of 2. That's square root of 26 over 2. It's probably going to be, but I'll go ahead and, yeah, square root of 26 over 2. Somebody check my math there. Make sure my algebra is right. And then 2 is going to be 4 over 2. So x is going to be equal to 26 minus 4 over 2. And the square root of 26 is going to be what? 5.1? Positive or negative 5.1 minus 4 over 2. 5.1 minus 4 is going to be 1.1, and that's going to be 0.55. So that's one x-intercept. The other x-intercept is negative 9.1, which is going to be 4.6. I don't know. Somebody check my math. Or 4.55. Somebody check me. So, say again?
Why did you get 26? Like, why is there 26?
Okay, you got to rationalize the denominator. Right here, if I take the square root of both sides, then that's going to be the square root of 2, because I can't have a square root in the radical, in the denominator. So that's going to be the square root of 26, and the square root of 4 is 2. So that's how I got that. Remember, you have to rationalize the denominator. You can't have a radical in the denominator. So you have to rationalize. So just to show you, again, x plus 2, quantity squared, is equal to 13 halves. And I took the square root of both sides, and that gives me x plus 2 is equal to the square root of 13 over the square root of 2. Well, the square root of 2 is not good. You don't want this, okay? So I got to multiply by the square root of 2 over the square root of 2, and that's going to give me the square root of 26 over 2.
So where'd you get the 4? Shouldn't it be the square root of 26 minus 2 over 2 at the bottom?
I'm
Where'd you
looking, where?
The forward.
At the very bottom of the screen.
Yeah, you can change the 2. This 2, you got to have a common denominator. What's 2? 2 over 1, I got to have a denominator of 2. What does that make that? 1 will go into 2 2 times. 2 times 2 is what? 4. I got to have a common denominator to, and I'll do that up here. Hold on. X plus 2 is equal to the square root of 26 over 2. Okay, so x is equal to the square root of 26 over 2 minus 2 over 1. And I've got to have a common denominator, so I've got to change this to something over 2. 1 will go into 2. 2 times 2 is 4.
I forgot. 13 by 2. Here's the 2 chip.
Who's got another question? So, if you don't have any other questions, 0.55 is going to be like, this is 1, so 0.4, that's 0.55 right there. And then negative 0.4.55 would be right in here. Why is it so skinny?
Because of the 2.
Because of the 2. Good job.
Bigger.
Because of the 2. It's compressed along the x-axis and what along the y-axis? Stretched along the y-axis. And that is a test question because you have to factor out. Any other questions? And a lot of people probably ask me, why is he wanting to know if we have any questions or not? I've been teaching for a while now. I do know that when you teach completing the square, there's about 50% of the class that don't know how to do it. So don't feel pregnant. All right, next question. Let's do another one. Let's do one with a negative. They even give you one with a negative. They probably don't because it might make you go to a prayer closet. All right, there we go. Y is equal to negative 5x squared plus 4x plus 1. I'll write it on the board for you so you can see it better. Y is equal to negative 5x squared plus 4x plus 1. I found out through Facebook today that I'm a pluviophile.
What?
Y'all know what a pluviophile is? Hang on, somebody that likes rain.
Likes rain?
Likes rain. You know, the stuff that comes out of the sky, rain.
Likes to drink.
What'd you say?
She said, she thought it was somebody who likes to drink.
Oh no, that's called an alcoholic.
I
Yeah, pluviophile is somebody that likes rain and thunderstorms. Who in here likes rain and thunderstorms?
I like it if I don't have anywhere to be.
Okay. Well, we'll just, tell nature to check with your schedule.
Sounds good.
Okay, yeah. It's
Hey,
all
man, they
about
can
y'all,
control the
it's all about,
They can control the
students.
weather. It's a conspiracy. They control it with the things they shoot.
Yeah, they control it with the planes, right? And the vapor
Yeah.
trails, right?
Shoot it in the clouds, make it rain.
Yeah, y'all about crazy. And the moon, and we never landed on the moon either.
It never landed on the moon. Just
Hollywood
fake.
stunt.
It was a Hollywood stunt.
Yeah.
Stanley Kubrick.
And the Holocaust never happened, right?
Oh, I saw on Reddit. Like, I looked up prehistory and it said the Hall of like Hall of.
All right, so what do we got to factor out?
Negative
Got to
5.
factor out -5, and that's going to cause everybody to what?
Quit. I'm an idiot. I had to find about 2.
And what is -4/5 divided by 2? 4/10?
4/10.
Right? And what's 4/10 squared?
16/25. No, I'm sorry, 1600s. I was thinking
I
about
thought so. I can't believe somebody hasn't asked me, how do I get the divided by 2 and square it? I can't believe anybody hasn't asked me that. But I guess everybody knows. So anyway, -5 times x minus 4 over 10, quantity squared, is equal to, and we're going to change this into -1 minus, what is that, 16 over 20? Somebody check me.
Whoa. 80. Yep. Oh.
So I'm gonna skip a step here and blow some fuses. I'm gonna change this to 20 over 20.
Can't we reduce it all the way down now?
You can reduce it. I don't do that. I don't change horses in midstream. I don't reduce it because that confuses people. I reduce at the very end.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter, it's still mathematically, but that's fine if you want to, but I'm going to just go ahead. It's kind of like I just said, changing horses in midstream. I don't want to reduce while I've got several people still trying to get the concept of completing the square down. So I'm going to just leave it like it is right now. -5 times x minus 4 over 10, quantity squared, is equal to -36 over what?
20.
20. Now, that is your equation, and you can get your vertex. Now you can reduce, all right? Your vertex is what? 0.4, negative be positive 0.4, and what? 36 over 20 be 1.8. Somebody check me. -1.8.
Yep.
Be positive 1.8. So there's your vertex. And yes, you can do that without a calculator. And if you don't know how to get those decimals without a calculator, you need to see me because that's basic math. All right, so that's your vertex. And then your y-intercept is 1. So let's do so divide by 5. You multiply by 1/5, which will give you positive 36 over 100, right? Isn't that nice? 36 over 100, is that what I said? And why is that very nice? Because it gives you a perfect square.
It's squares, perfect squares.
Yeah. So x minus 4/10 is equal to positive or negative 6 over 10. And x is equal to positive or negative 6 plus 4 over 10. What's 6 plus 4?
10.
And 10 divided by 10, punch it in your calculator. 1. Negative 6 plus 4 is negative 2 over 10 is 0.2, negative 0.2. So let's see what the graph looks like. I'm gonna do it in blue. So we got a 0.4. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 0.4 be right there, and 1.8 be right in there. 1 and negative 0.2. And what's the y-intercept? 1.
Yep.
And that's what it looks like. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go today. I'm going to check the homework and make sure I opened it. You should be able to do 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3, but I'll check the outline. Let me see the outline real quick. It should say completing squares and all that good stuff. No, 3.1 and 3.2. So everybody should be able to work on 3.1 and 3.2 for homework. I'll check it to make sure it's open, okay? Y'all have a good day.
Thank you.